Hi everybody, welcome back. It's a sunny day. Happy fall season, and we're just gonna get right into this one because I'm excited to talk about music and life with you guys. Um, so let's get right into this, shall we? We are going to talk a little bit about the month of April today. Just kind of reflect on it and go over the playlist that I made for that month. It was a very beautiful playlist. It's called Incoming Transmission, um, Disruption of System on All Accounts, or something like that. We'll pull it up right now. But April is funny because we're talking about April, and April's the fourth month in the beginning of the year, and we're in September, and it's the fourth month before the year ends. And it's actually crazy how fast time has been flying by. Just because I want to say around this time is when I started to feel like the fruition of this idea to kind of have more of a vlog style conversation um, in seriousness about these kind of playlists. Just because I don't know, it feels like a compilation of everything that I really do enjoy. Like, I love photography. Um, and editing and visual aspects of things. And I love my poetry. If you guys aren't familiar with it, I'm not too public with it, I guess, on my page. But it is like poetry is such a close to home part of my heart now. So if you've never seen any of my projects, I would love for you to check those out. But this is me sidetracking as usual. But like and then I really enjoyed having a blog at a time, but it just isn't like it's like ultimately not for me because I'm not gonna sit here and like spend all of my time and like all of these arrays. Like at the end of the day, I'm only one person. So the playlists have just been such a nice way for me to really hold it all together in a very secure way that I'm kind of realizing, and we can talk about this a little bit more in the actual September video, which I want to get out to you guys ASAP. I want to be caught up. um, so I feel like I have all of these pressures on me in areas, and I know that they're coming from myself. So without any who, this is just a little random ramble, but point being, I just love having an element of poetry, an element of this blog style conversation, um, and this element of photography added with it. And now I get to have these videos, and these aren't that edited, just because they are more of a conversational vlog. But like, it's just like it feels like a final wrap to everything. And with like my adjustment into social media, and this is going to be a little bit more of a bigger part of this actual video. So, with social media, it's so disruptive and mentally like we're now seeing, I think, like the long-term effects of social media, the negatives. And I don't know, this feels like a good way of everything for me to like still have pieces of everything, but like enough for me to be away at times, if that makes sense. And I'm just letting out some thoughts here, but yeah, like I really hope in the future to like have these for me and myself really come out like once a month, so it's not like an exhausting task. And I feel like that's what I've noticed with my behavior and like patterns on YouTube is just like when I try to go into it, I try to go full throttle, and like that that ends up burning me out so quickly. So it's finding like a really nice schedule and pattern to have it be where it's just really enjoyable at the end of the day. But I'm also at a point in my life where I don't want to be lying to myself either, you know? So there's that. But I feel like it's just funny because we're going to talk about April around this time. And so it's a bit reflective of like, I don't know, it's just interesting. Parallels in my life is the point of all that. Okay. Sorry I rambled, but we're not afraid of our emotions here on this channel, and we're going to talk about things and real stuff at times. Also, you have to deal with my natural hair today because you should be letting your hair dry naturally, anyways. But incoming transmission, disruption of systems on all accounts. And this has never been truer. I feel like April was a real self catalyst month. It was around the time that I really was discovering like how to be that for people, for myself especially, because 2024 has been all about being self aware, being self accountable, and also very like self loving yourself, putting back into yourself. But it's really learning and being aware of like every angle of who you are and working around from that. And I think like the task of really knowing ourselves is quite the journey. And it's really hard not to like prolongate this era because you also want to live in the who you are now, because the who you are now is also really beautiful. So, right, there's a constant like search for balance in things, and at the same time not focusing on like finding that balance either, you know, because that's just not life. Um so let's talk a little bit about what this title means. I feel like we kind of did, but to put it simply, March was like our wake up call, right? And it was like the very beginning months were letting in this type of light, letting in this type of sunshine. Okay, so we're gonna talk without the mics today again, just loving those. Loving those. So it kind of cut off around talking about the title, and kind of what it means. And it's it is what we've talked about and kind of said in the beginning. God, you guys, I said such good things. I said such good things that I'm like really sad we kind of lost within this little time. Okay, let's do it. I know I can tell you guys this the same, or like vaguely the same, but yes, incoming transmission, that part of the title is connected to like how our March playlist and discussion was about like this wake up call idea, and just, you know, really hitting you that like you have to take care of these things, like you have to take care of yourself. And the whole like disruption of system on all accounts, it just like really ties to that like aspect of any angle in your life that like you feel is an area of like challenge. If you like basically disrupt them, let them be disrupted, and like let this wave of change occur, one, it's going to be a lot smoother, and two, like that's what I kind of meant. Like I needed everything disruptive, and this was really attached to me like hopping off of social media finally. And I did it for a solid 2 months. I was like, it was really strong, and it wasn't until like summer kind of occurred that like this really disrupted things in a different way. but those are later conversations. Um, and overall, like, I really feel like September is just really somehow tied to April right now that we're talking about everything. And so, yeah. Usually we talk a little bit about the blog portion, and I'll tell you that right now, what it is. This might be a little bit newer of a segment for us, but I do want to talk about the photography too. And the cover of this playlist is really nice because it's this photo of the flowers, and it's just it reminds me of a nice day. It was me by myself walking around the city, and I got to see flowers, fresh flowers put out on Michigan Avenue, and I like that the cover also kind of flows from March, how March was these potted seeds, and like concept this garden that was just like barely patted down, like the dirt is just moist, and then you have these not fully bloomed flowers kind of grown, and I feel like that's just very reminiscent of a lot of things. um, like so far we've been talking about this cycle of like changes with like chameleons, and it's very how I feel and like have approached life. um, and it's nice to take your time in your growth as well. So it was nice to like feel that way, like feel like right now we're just a garden, and like right now we're about to bloom as a garden kind of thing. um, I also just kind of mentioned like, yeah, like the parallels of this month, um, and of the April specifically, and this month currently. Like it's a little shocking. Um, but yeah, so those are kind of the parallels. To talk a little bit about the description, our little blog segment. This playlist might be a bit jarring at times, just as life flows and has sudden moments of disruption, heights of energy, lows of solemn. This month started so energetic and disruptive for me as well, and ended with a type of peace. Not calm, I wouldn't say, but a stillness that I enjoy at times and urge others to disrupt. Do it. Shake it up. Do something that really shakes it up. I love being my own catalyst. Amidst my social media departure, I've actually indulged a bit more into music the way I started this year. Along with other things, it's my one hobby I'm committed to. In my manifest of long playlist titles, and even longer playlists that aren't 10 songs, I feel that I have succeeded. The photo of this month took a bit longer for me to find, but the title I knew very early on. Older songs set the stage and vibe, while newer tracks really enhance some areas. Songs like Two Hands to Heaven by Beyonce, I Forgot to Be Your Lover by the Black Keys, Oil and Water by Paris, and Cruel Nature by R.I.P. Dune really stood out to me and have had a lasting impact. If you dive into this musical motion, it may take a while, but a little over 3 hours versus 720 this month feel like nothing. If anything, it makes me only want the discovery and changes all the more, even when the feelings resolved remain uncertain. Always with love, Fabian Rockwell. And I did mention I actually really love my artist name. Just saying, I don't talk about my art too much on this channel, but it is like a part of me. I guess I'm gonna be closer to you guys right now, but it is a part of me, and like I haven't always, I guess, felt as confident in that name, but like I do love my artistic alter ego, and I'm just a bit more separated from her right now, so this is very like a just me kind of thing. And I also was talking a bit more about music in this specific description just because I'm like at times not sure how I'm gonna talk about music and life like together and like in a constructive way. And so like sometimes it's a little bit more like in connection with the songs and the music, and then at other times it's very about life. Like, it is just very more of a, like, sometimes it feels like a diary, I would say. And so I'm trying to find the nice balance of having both, because I want both. But yeah, it just, I write what feels right in the moment. I'm trying to be better about my grammar and stuff, because I feel it like loosening itself at times, but it's important to have good grammar. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It just feels like Fabian was very self-aware at this time, and I can really respect that for myself. Um, so let's talk about the first song. Where I liked our last video together, because I liked kind of just going in order of the flow. And let me see something real quick. Okay, so got my little handy helper here. I took some notes for once in my life, just to be a little bit better prepared, because for me that helps me with some things in areas of self-reassurance. But anyways, so we're gonna talk about the music now. Finally, I know you guys are probably like, gosh, please shut up and get to the fucking music, right? But so we started with Broken Machine, which is a song by Nothing But Thieves. And if you've been on this channel, you know that I love Nothing But Thieves. And they are an active and intentional effort to have been throughout the year. I've given myself like moments where I'm like, let it simmer a little extra, but I like to have a pop of them kind of throughout the month, and you'll see them throughout the year, just because I'm so excited to see Nothing But Thieves. They have been one of my like longest awaited artists to see, and I feel like I've seen a lot of people that I've really wanted to see and crossed off my bucket list, but Not the Thieves, they have been quite the challenge, and I am equally as determined to see them, and I know it's finally happening, so I'm very excited. And they are ever so present. Broken Machine felt like the right opening, because it's got this calmness, it's got a bit of warmth, it has slight moments of edginess to it, and it really speaks to the idea of this like transmission. We started getting into like a very like technological aspect from here, which we'll talk about more. But that's kind of the Thieves. And I know that early in the beginning of my month in April was a little bit tougher for me, because it was still like dealing with the onset of March issues. But yeah, so then I went into a bit of a more nostalgic route. This isn't that nostalgic, but I've got Sweet Bird by Young Hunting on here, and I haven't explored them too much, so don't hate me, but this is such a beautiful song. This and there are other songs that has blue, the word blue in it, is really, really good. It's like, don't say anything. Yeah, I don't know. It just, whatever felt like it connected to me at the time, it was there. Straight through midnight, but I cannot find you. Recognize you. Sweet bird upon you. Where have you flown to? The song was really like reminiscent of just getting older, I guess. There's this whole post of like you're 17, and then suddenly you're 27, and suddenly tomorrow's 37. So it's this emphasis on like being 100% in what you're doing, because everything matters in its moment. So I feel like this really spoke to that idea. There's a lot of songs this month that were very lovely to have, because your friends will put you on to some of the best music and really expand your umbrellas, I guess, your personal music umbrellas. And this particular song, called Dream by Love, it's from the 1970s. I will say 70s had some very rich music, because it was about the storytelling more or less, I think. And I'm sorry, but like, people were more connected to like their true feelings at these times than we are now collectively. And I feel like a lot of the music, you can feel the magic in it. And 70s particularly, that era had such a magic, and I wasn't particularly diving into it. I don't ever feel the need to, really explore that far. We will, in a little bit more of like my genre tastes, but like true 70s music, I let a couple of my other friends. I have two really good friends who adore 70s music, and so I always get good music fed to me through them, and this song is one of them, by my friend Lolita. So if you don't follow her page, she does her own little YouTube conversations. I would highly recommend checking those out. They're also some very nice conversations, and just very different musical influences and aspects to her taste. So if I feel like this is a good route for you, I would recommend that. I just love the guitar in this. It's so warm. It just feels like I love that the sun is out for us today, because like, this is exactly how it feels. Like, it's just so warm. My other best friend, Adeline, she shows me a lot of really good 70s music, and like now recent like 70s inspired music, which we have in a bunch of other playlists. So I'm excited to show you guys some of those songs from like this feeling in STEM. But yeah, it was really cool. Very short song, and I talked the whole time through it, so my bad. But it, like, you hear what I'm saying, like, you start going through these like nostalgic sounds. Broken Machine was such an interesting thing, but like the switch from that into those two is quite interesting. After Dream, I've got Bodyguard by Beyonce. I'm sorry, but I gave my girl Beyonce her streams, baby. She is a little bit more throughout this playlist, and it's because, well, baby, she's got Cowboy Carter to talk about, so we'll get into that in a sec. This is such a good song. It's just, the like subtle country I can really handle, but like the tootin' and hollerin', no. Then I put Christian Curious Too Good in here. Ugh. I think that in my last video, I want to say that I said that I went to go see him, and that's why he was in there. But I really want to say that I seen him in April and not March. We're going to find out right now. I'm on the discovery with you guys. Oh my god, guys, I am so right. Christian Curia, amazing performer. And I think I mentioned him last video, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about him. Seen him at the very, very intimate venue. Like, oh, okay, you guys know when I talked about this was with when we were talking about Madra and New Dad, and they're coming to Chicago, and it's at this venue that Christian Curia performed at, and it changed my perspective. Like, it's such a small, intimate room. Like, you are so close. It was such a lovely experience. It was a very intimate one, which I feel like at times like that when I'm alone at a concert, I'm a little bit more reserved, but I pay attention to everything a lot more. And this man, the live electric guitar that he knows how to play and sing at the same time is very impressive. Keep a lookout for him for the rest of your life. And just every single song he's ever put out has been on point. Too Good specifically stood out to me at his show because he did his songs with a little bit, I think, like variations of like instruments that get enhanced during the live shows really will make a show. And I think like his was a lot more guitar led with a little bit of softer moments, and so it was so good, so good. Forever. And I think that song really hit me around that time. I have Tyranny by Gesellfelstein. He had put out an album, so we'll talk about him a little bit later. But after Christian Curia, like I felt like R&B was a nice assistance into a dance thing for some reason. I feel like I lost maybe some places that would have had like good transitions so far. But yeah, like you start very subtle and nostalgic, and then it picks up right away with Gesellfelstein's music because he's a little bit heavier, but it's got more of a like justice grit to him. Dua Lipa put out a training season remix with Chloe Calais. So good, I just love it. I'm just gonna show you guys what sells me. First of all, Training Season is a very impressive song. Very, very good Dua Lipa song. I don't know, like in this remix, the bass is just, it's like more enhanced. The build up in this one is really nice. It has like, I can't even get into this right now because if y'all want me to be a faggot on screen, I will. But yeah, like the build up to this is just so nice. It's really smooth, and I like just like how some of the instrumentations that are in the original Training Season are more like like dramatized, I guess, or like expanded, I feel like is a better word. And also the organ piano later in this song really goes off. But I really wanted this really nice dance moment because as much as I talk about like this feeling of letting go and like having this dance be a thing, I feel like for a long time I was waiting for that to just come to me, but it was more of a like internal feeling that is telling me like dance should be throughout. It should always carry this moment of like positivity. Like I'm really big on this stuff, so it's like positivity and like really good energy, and when you're in the moment and it's right there in front of you, you better let it all out, like for real. So yeah, it was just nice to have this really like dance moment. Charlie XCX I think was still releasing, but Back to Back is a killer song. Maybe one day when I feel more like talking about albums as they come out, like I'll be better about it, but we'll talk about Brat Continued it with The Urge. it was a very short dance segment. It still has like variations, but I liked this because it pulled some things back through. But the ending of this song, changes the vibe. Mike Levi, it just and then it goes no shit. Okay, I think these are albums that we're gonna talk about, but I was thrown off by the Dan Levy name because we've been watching one of the Levi's is in the show we're watching. It's not really that important. So that song really helped transition into this like next flow of back to like a little bit more nostalgia. We included some of the Black Keys. I had Beyonce by or Daughter by Beyonce on there, which was a lot more calmer. I slapped in. It had this quick like dip, and I feel like April was really good about having like a good mid height, dropping to this calm warmth, rising up with this like really disruptive segments of like dance, and then really quickly dipping back down. And that was the whole point. Like everything is really disruptive, and so like that's what you get here. You've got some more Gesaffelstein with Digital Slaves. Justice released their album, and Incognito is so cool. But they were like the height of this playlist. After them, and my best friend showed me this song. Last month in March, we had the Leon Bridges song that's on this record, but originally this is the song she sent me. The Divine Chord featuring MGMT, and there's somebody else on this track. Johnny Marr, which I've never heard of Johnny Marr, but MGMT, I'm there. Listen to this shit. You guys like me? My little Freddy, he's so cute. The vibe of this is so fresh and immaculate. I cannot describe it to you guys. My best friend truly has one of the best music tastes. Like, she doesn't find music as often, but she takes her time, and when she finds something, I feel like this song has this perfect vibe, and there are elements throughout this playlist that are very nostalgic. The Dua Lipa had it in Train Season. It's a very obvious, like, 80s, like, kickster vibe. Like, I don't know how else to explain that. And then, even in Gesaffelstein's, the song The Urge, that transitions, it's such an obvious transition. Like, you know exactly that you've heard that before, but it's really nice. And the whole concept of like I remember is also throughout, so it's like I think there was slight allowance of like reflection this month for me, which was really cool. This song also touches on the whole remembrance aspect, and it just has this, like, it could be nostalgic, but it's so current that it is like very brand new at the same time. Um, and it has more of this like, the best way I can describe it is a blue pixelated cloud, like cotton candy cloud. And I want to say that this playlist was originally going to be called that. Um, one of my playlists was originally going to be called this like blue cotton candy thing. And it started with this feeling, and it was just so nice to have like these bits of like warmth, and it's so good. But this is like, yeah, it's also like another big part, like next to Incognito, it was a big part of this playlist. Doja Cat, I want to say she had released a deluxe version, and I had finally listened to it, and Disrespectful and Head High were on here. They kind of have its own little segment within. Cage the Elephant was still releasing songs, but this added to that more like disruption bit. I'll talk about this song. This was a good song. I threw in some more country aspects with Beyonce in here. It flows into Linda Martell show with Yaya. Also another kind of different disruption of a song. I feel like Head High came after. It was really calming after the disruption. Khruangbin, I also put a bit of their stuff in here, but they really helped start to add this element of peace. So we have this song called Frau Limde Verwuras. I think that's right. Their album cover is so cute. It's so simple. But listen to this. So it's like this instrument, it feels peaceful, but there's also like a slight edge to it. I really liked that. I put Two Hands to Heaven on here, probably one of the best songs this year. When It's a Dark Vacay, another really nice Cigarettes vibe. That song is adamant. Don't you? That violin. So the Black Keys are gonna be an intense conversation on this channel one of these days. If you haven't seen the deep dives, I would love if you guys would go check them out. But the Black Keys, I think, is gonna be a future deep dive. And I'll tell you my story a little bit better then. But the song really switched something in me when it comes to them, and yeah, I really like this song. It really speaks to me. Standout track, I mentioned her. There's a few other standout tracks on here. This is a longer playlist. It's 41 songs, but I like, please take your time with it. But to wrap up the singles, I feel like I still have a bit more to talk about. You're just going through these waves. At 17 by Janice Ian, such a vibe. Same feeling with Love and Dream. You know, Eclipse by Interwave was on here to really like help transition things. Help Me by Joni Mitchell. Help Me by Joni Mitchell. I'm falling in love again. When I get that crazy feeling, I'm all in trouble again. I'm in trouble, cause you're a rambler and a gambler and a sweet talking lady's man. That speaks to me so much because I love my independence, you guys have no idea. But I really like this song by Joni, and I know it's probably a little bit basic because it's her probably one of her most popular songs, other than Some Things in River. And this is another thing that my friend Lolita helped me discover. She absolutely adores Joni Mitchell, and I love the love that people have for the people they love, and that is usually enough to like make an effort forward with things. And so not everything Joni Mitchell has done particularly speaks to me, but this song really did. I love this song. I love its vibe, and it was fucking phenomenal in this playlist. Like you hear the subtle guitar, like it's there. It's just so bouncy, yeah. This song, See What I Mean by the Red Pears, so good. I think I found this because I actually really liked the cover. It's just very gray and black and white, and it looks like very gritty smoke, but with the coloration of the people loving each other, like it really stood out. And I want to say I might have tried to listen to this album, but I could be wrong on that. It reminds me of 500 Days of Summer and something else. Don't really matter. Yes. Okay, so towards the end of this playlist is where you start to feel this like sense of ease and peace. I remember that. And I also remember at the end of the month really finding a couple of songs that just were so gorgeous. Paris released Oil and Water, and you guys, I just love that song. It's like shocking how Paris continues to elevate and grow, and we should be supporting all of our community, and I will support all of my I will support the amount of the lesbians that I can, I promise. This song was in the description, but Cruel Nature by R.I.P. Dunes really took this nostalgic throwback element and really like pushed it forward as well with being current and modern. It's in that realm of like the divine chord that we heard earlier. I have to move with the lighting. I feel like this just really speaks to like the truth of my year. This is also one of those moments where like the lyrics are hitting you a little bit harder as to why they exactly found you, like why this song exactly found me. It's just like a reaffirmation on the whole idea of letting go, and like you can't have the life that you want without letting go fully of the life you had, kind of thing. Black Dog, White Horse was a really cool song by Big Special. I think this is a part of an EP, which I definitely checked out the whole thing, and like this song was like one of the only things that stuck out to me, but it was a good transitional song. I also threw in some more of an upbeat dance, like Spanish vibe. I don't know if this is particularly Spanish. Valió la pena, by Technicolor Fabrica and Technicolor Fabrics. Awkward. I just can't see that. Yeah, it was really nice vibe to have. It's in line of like the Spanish music I like. Nothing to do with Kings of Leon made it on here. Julia Jacqueline. Don't know how to keep loving you. This song does things to me. Also makes me think of my dear friend. She really had a hand in helping me with this playlist this month, and she didn't even know it, I don't think. This was just a heartbreaking song on like a different element, just in terms of being in a long-term relationship. Like, that's at least how it feels to me, and I don't exactly relate to everything in this song, but like aspects and feelings of it. Like, when you're in a long-term relationship, it fluctuates. Like, a real relationship goes through ups and downs and challenges, and like it's just the constant, like, you and them, you know, going like this. It's another form of balance. It's another area. And so this kind of reminds me of that, and like it keeps me grounded. It keeps me grounded is just what I'm gonna say. Sorry guys, I'm just enjoying the music too, because like I haven't heard some of this stuff in a few months. Like, I've been very good at like what I'm listening to is like current me, and yeah, I'm a little sad for April Fabian for what this was, but the music is fucking phenomenal, and this song is fucking amazing. Holding Out For You. Man, my girls held it down this month. Yeah, this is another song that my best friend found, and probably one of the best songs of this year. Sick ass fucking cover, like unbelievable. Sick ass fucking vibe. Hear this guitar? If you've ever watched Big Little Lies, my god, my hair. I hate my hair like straightened, dry. It's not that bad, I guess, but it's long and I need a haircut. It's getting out of control. But okay, so this is one of those songs that really remind me of Big Little Lies. That is me and my girls' show, and like I feel like this is a song that would belong on like a Big Little Lies playlist. But immaculate. The playlist ends with a song called Ending Credits. It was very warm. Just having a song called Ending Credit was really cool, and just the outro of it is completely beautiful. So we'll let it play through as we kind of continue some of our conversation. And it reminds me of Twilight and a Radiohead a little bit, like the softer Radiohead. But yeah, I feel like that was the flow. It was just very disruptive, very up and down, and like fluctuating, because it's like when you're your own catalyst, or you like allow change to like, you know, flow into your life and things like that. I was also in the process of finding a new job in April, And finding a new job is just very taxing work, and just having to deal with the emotions of it, and it's just not an easy process. So it was like dealing with that. Just because like you grow with people and like you love people, and it's just sometimes like you yourself need that change, whether you need a vacation, whether you need to switch jobs, whether you need to pick up a new hobby, whether you decide anything. Honestly, like the truth of everything is you can change your life any day at any given moment, but it's being self-aware of every decision you make and like what might follow through for it, and just if that would even work for you in the long run. And yeah, I don't know how we were going there, but I don't know, it felt good to leave this playlist off on a feeling that was very like, even though it says it's ended, like it doesn't feel like an ending feeling, again, still only like peeling off pieces and chips. But let's talk about some albums. God Said No, I believe, is a record that came out from Vampire Weekend, and there is a song on here that acts as something transitional, just because I thought Ezra sang really different than something I was used to. This is a good finale song. It's got all the right things to it. But I loved how he was singing, and it was like the only song off of their album that I liked. I personally gave this album a 1 out of 10. And I know that this is mean, but I feel like with the work that Vampire Weekend used to have, like first 3 records just, you know what I'm saying? So it's like they have it and they have elements of it still, but like they're going in an interesting direction that just hasn't felt like it's my personal direction. I will probably always check out what they have to offer, but I think some of my favorite stuff lies a little bit in their earlier things, and just the time that I had with that, aspect. And like I'm very grateful to have seen them live with, some friends that I'm think fondly of. But yeah, their new album was not for me. It made me want to give their 4th record, their double album that they did. I listened to, I think, the first version of it, and after that, like, no. But, okay, that's not to be mean. A La Sala came out this month as well, which was by Krongman, and I gave this album like a 5 out of 10. And I really just do this based on how many songs I end up saving. It's nothing like against the lyrics, the production, or anything like that when we're talking about stuff. But A La Sala, I think when we came out with the Love International, it was their strongest song on that record, like hands down. May 9th, I think, is really equal to it. And there are a couple of songs on there that really had its own singular vibe that was what I was looking for. I wanted moments like that. But this grandiose feeling of it, I think I wish was a little bit in it a bit more. And in a lot of that album, we got more of like a flat line. I feel it felt consistent in a lot of areas that was like, like some of this is for me, just not all of it, kind of thing. Dark Matter was not on this playlist. Dark Matter was a record by Pearl Jam, and just we'll get into Pearl Jam one day, but I just think I'm not quite there yet, and I think that their newest record was not the place for me personally to start, because it looks like they had some experimentation going on that I just was not expecting. Ohio Players by the Black Keys. We talked about their song I Forgot to Be Your Lover, and This Is Nowhere is also on there. That just really encapsulates a lot of the vibe throughout the playlist. But I did give that album also a 5 out of 10, just because I feel vaguely the same. In my development with my new relationship with the Black Keys, I thought that their album was really good, and it will be a revisit in the future, but I also feel like I need to go re-listen to some things to kind of pick them up a bit more just because they've been so vacant in my life. So it's a 5 out of 10 for me now based on my current tastes. Um, and I just know that the Black Keys have better music than things that were on that album. I think also a little consistent, like safe. Like I feel like people this year are playing it safe in some areas, especially some of the bands. Like you guys know how you can do and just go off. So there were some things that were obviously true, warm, genuine music that just really stood out, and then there were some things that were like a bit of a flat line. Hyperdrama was an album by Justice, and I gave this album a 3 out of 10 just because I just felt like it didn't know what it was. Like, it didn't know what it was supposed to be, and some things were really good. Like, I loved Incognito. It was really fun, and maybe it needs another listen at a time where I'm more in an electronic zone, because it really went there, and, like, the word zone fits. So she has a song on here because it was disruptive, but, like, oh, I noted that it was too collab focused. And that will do it for me for an album. Like, even without even noticing the note, like, I just knew it was like, what is this trying to be? And I feel like when you put a lot of different voices in your project, like, it can throw off what this is trying to be fully and artistically. And I feel like for a comeback, you know, especially for a big name like Justice, like, you should know who you are, fully realized. Or maybe they do, and I don't know. It could be same scenario. I need to go back and listen to some old things. Girl in Red. Girl in Red came out with probably one of my favorite songs this year, Too Much, and I know it's going to be on a top 10 of my year. And I'm almost like secondhand embarrassed by her album, and like, I don't mean to be mean, but her follow-up just really was not for me, and I feel bad about it. Like, I've not spoken about this. I even feel shameful of having too much, low-key, like, too high on a pedestal almost. But it's not, like, that was such a good song. Like, it was so real, it was genuine, like, it just came out, it just hit the ground running, and I was not expecting the album to be, I don't know. And I have like maybe like 5 songs off her first album saved, because I also didn't love everything, but like, there was a vibe in that first album, and I don't want people to have to be sad again, you know what I mean? But I don't know, like, I might need some time to like hear the like positivity aspects of it. Like, even the incorporation of Sabrina Carpenter was like a little bit corny to me on that record, and so like, there were just a few things that felt more like an ick for me. And so I feel really bad saying that, because I feel like it's really mean, but like, yeah, I gave her a 2 out of 10. Gesaffelstein's record was really solid. It was a really cool album. It was just another thing that wasn't for me. It was a 5 out of 10. We had a lot of those. And even now, listening back, because I did listen to this album a couple of days ago, or maybe like a little over a week or 2 ago, and it was when I wrote my notes down. But I think even like some of the songs on this playlist have like aged out already for me. Like, it was cool at a time, like a very specific time, but I don't know where I'm at with it right now, you know? But it is really cool. Like, I just have to give it that credit. And I think what I want for my experience with Gesaffelstein, and I'm realizing this with a lot of people, is that I want some of my first experience with certain artists to just be like a live aspect, because that changes things. And I think my experience seeing him live will be, like, I would be more excited for that. Okay, I saved this album for last because it was the biggest thing, and it also did the same thing with Ariana, where it came out very late at the month, but Beyonce's Cowboy Carter came out late March, and that means we listened to it all of April. And Cowboy Carter is a 10 out of 10 album. Production wise, cohesiveness, that is a project where you bring in the other voices, but they add the elements necessary to the project as a whole. And I think I love it because you see so much how artistically that is Beyonce's vision. It's just another thing that is like, it would not have happened without a team effort. So there's that. It's amazing. Like, it's so rich. Like, you can spend like 5 hours, I think, longer. Like, you could spend a good amount of time breaking down every single aspect and element to Cowboy Carter. Just the rich history, the whole like the TV aspect to it, or like the old radio, like you're tuning into something aspect. It all worked so well. I just need, I think, a tour from Beyonce, because I think it would really heighten all of this. I don't think every act needs a tour, and I think it will be really cool to see how everything fuses together, because I'm sure, I think she would tour for the last act. It is still a country element to it, and so about half of that record is just, again, not for me, because there are things that are too in the bayou, I think. I want to say my friend said that on Twitter. But I feel like that's such an accurate description. It's good, like, it's solid. Like, the experience of listening to Cowboy Carter is something else. And I don't know, it's just, yeah, I have to give it it's a really good thing for, like, its artistic effort and all of that. I just think because of the genre, it's not 100% for me, but a lot of things were really good in that. And I feel like there's a lot of, like, when everyone was asking for Renaissance and how there wasn't much singing because it was so dance, this album has everything and every element that you wanted from Beyonce. And so I wonder if we had this act as the first one originally for real, and then Renaissance, how it would differ. But I'm grateful how we got our acts, to be honest. We needed them. But yeah, so it feels like the vocality and everything, like, we got so much Beyonce self-titled out of Cowboy Carter, like, it's ridiculous. Tyrant, Two Hands to Heaven is probably one of the greatest songs of hers, like, ever, and of this year. Love it to death. Even like the fun things like Yeah, Buckin', Honey Buckin', that is such a cool song, and like the transitions of everything. I love hearing Dolly Parton on it. I loved hearing Linda Martell. Even the other guy didn't save his interludes, but like it really added to the element of everything, and so like it's a nice experience to have. But yeah, I really don't know what else I would want to say about Cowboy Carter. It's a really good album. Like, all I can say is it is 10 out of 10, but like with like long term, it's not 100% 10 out of 10 for me, you know? But I recognize it. That's all I can say. But yeah, that's kind of the end of this video. This is a much longer one. I didn't expect to have so much kind of come out of me today, but it was really nice to kind of reminisce on April specifically, and this vibe. Like, it was really nice. Like, it was really warm in all the areas it needed to be, but I feel like I could definitely feel the disruption, which is uncomfortable at times. So, but that's music, and that's the joy of life and pairing it with everything. It's also, like I said, a parallel to this month for me, so it's like a little helpful to see like the steps that I was taking in the right direction in the beginning for now. But I will save this aspect of the conversation for a later time. And yeah, thank you guys for watching if you watched, and if you're enjoying these little vlogs, it's cool. This is really just like, though, ultimately for me and for the people who may need it. So yeah, But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Bye.